Hey guys, Adam here with AmericanMuscle.com. Today we're taking a closer look at installing and dyno testing the Bama X4 SF4 Power Flash handheld custom tuner with 2 custom tunes available for the 18 and newer EcoBoost. Now, if you're the owner of that 4-cylinder EcoBoost S550, you might be in the market for a handheld device that'll bump up not only horsepower and torque numbers, but make your turbo more responsive, give you more throttle response and acceleration, and a number of other really cool features, including 2 custom tunes. Before we jump into all the details of the tuner itself and those tunes, let's take a look at our dyno results because we did establish our baseline pull and then uploaded our tune. Let's check out that graph. Now, of course, we strapped our 18 Eco to the dyno, 93 octane in the tank, bone stock otherwise, to establish our baseline run, walked away with 254 horsepower and about 305 pound-feet of torque at the rear wheels. We then uploaded our Bama 93 octane tune, ran it under the same conditions with 93 in the tank, bone stock otherwise, walked away with 278 horsepower, 334 pound-feet of torque at the rear wheels, good for peak gains of 24 horsepower and 29 torque at the rear. Now, those alone are pretty decent, respectable numbers, especially for a simple 93 octane tune. Curve gains are where things get a little bit more impressive. Now, under the curve, at around 5,800 RPMs, we're seeing our max horsepower of about 39 horsepower as far as gains are concerned. Our torque curve is found at the low to mid range at around 3,700 RPMs and gains of about 36 rear wheel torque. Now, curve gains look a lot better, and really, guys, that's what you're gonna feel out on the road. So we're seeing really good gains all the way across the RPM band, but that torque is definitely gonna make a lot of difference on the road, especially at the low to mid range. Now, as far as the X4 SF4 is concerned, this is the updated tuner above the beloved X3 tuner, and this one's gonna come with a Performance V2 tune and a Race V2 tune. Now, that Performance V2 tune is geared for the guys who are driving that daily driver or weekend warrior who wanna get a little bit more sporty feel out of their vehicle, a little bit more horsepower and torque, a more responsive and quick spooling turbo, as well as a better throttle response and acceleration. That performance tune is great for 87 through 93 octane, but that race tune is really geared for those higher octane fuels, 91 and 93, or what's available in your area. Now, the race tune is taking that to the next level, which is really ideal for track use. Now, if you're using it on the street, just be cautious that it is going to drastically change acceleration, throttle response, shift point firmness is completely changed for automatic guys, so it really does make the difference. Now, as you saw from our graph, the race tune or that 93 octane tune is really gonna maximize the performance capabilities of your EcoBoost, but it's also custom to your vehicle. Both of those tunes are gonna be custom to your vehicle. Now, if you have additional mods like a cold air intake, a catback, a downpipe, so on and so forth, that's all taken into consideration to maximize their potential as well. So these gains are just on a stock EcoBoost. They get even better when you have mods thrown into the mix. Now, anytime that you pick up one of these tuners, you're automatically enrolled in the Bama Free Tunes for Life program, which basically means anytime you make further modifications to your car, you get a free tune revision with a simple request. Now, that's really a good value because not a lot of other places out there give you those free tune updates, or they'll be limited to just a few. Not the case here, Free Tunes for Life. Now, this device also has a DTC code reader to check that check engine light, give you the code, and allow you to clear it without needing any other devices. You're also going to get Wi-Fi capabilities and wireless updates to the tuner, as well as data logging capabilities. This tuner comes in right around $400, and the install gets 1 out of 3 wrenches on our difficulty meter. Anybody can tackle it with about 30 minutes in the driveway at home, no tools required. I'm going to take you through the tuning process and walk you through all the features. Let's get started. Guys, first step here, grab the harness included in the kit. You're gonna plug in this side to the OBD2 port located on the left side under your driver's side dashboard. So that's plugged in, take the other side, pop it into the slot on the top of your X4, and we're good to get started. All right, from the main menu, I'm gonna take you guys through the process of tuning your vehicle. So select Program Vehicle from that main menu, continue on the street notice, put your key in the on position, but don't start your engine, and press Continue. Now, it'll give you a bunch of different options to actually modify any tune you select. We're gonna go with 93 Race, but select the one that you wanna flash now. At this point, it'll move forward asking you if you wanna make any additional changes. There's a bunch of menus relating to that, so make the changes you want. We're gonna keep our file pretty much the same that it comes with from Bama. All right, so you wanna change anything you see on this menu and hit Approve. Continue to Special Options, including tire size, things like that. So did you change your tire size? We did not. Don't want to change the gear ratio, and no on the TPMS settings. Confirm that it'll disable your preloaded tune to move forward. key in the on position if you haven't done so already, and it'll save your stock tune to the device and then begin to flash. It'll load 0 to 100 a couple of times, just let it do its thing, don't unplug it, and don't turn the vehicle off unless it directs you to. All right, at this point, it lets us know the download's complete. You can select done and you're good to go. Before we disconnect, I want to take you through some of the other features of the X4. So if you go under Program Vehicle, Gauges and Data Log is your next selection. You want to make sure the key is on before you move any forward. What this will do is allow you to monitor live engine vitals on the fly at any time as long as your device is plugged in. Now, it's more of a gauge pod, but there's multiple pods, multiple gauges. As you can see on the screen, we have two. They're both the same at the moment, but they are customizable. Now, if you go to the right, you can data log, you can record a data log, select the data log file, select the gauge layout. I'm going to change that gauge layout to something we can monitor 3 pieces of information with. Now, we have boost and PSI, control module voltage, and coolant temp, but you can change those, like I said. So in the EcoBoost, you might want to monitor boost. Control module voltage, coolant temp, those are all customizable. If I want to change coolant temp to intake air temp, we can hit approve on that, and it changes that gauge. You can monitor up to 8 at a time. If you want to select the gauge layout that monitors 8, this is the max. Now, it's really useful for guys who want to take care of that information on the fly. And again, you can record data logs, send that to your tuner, make revisions, so on and so forth. Now, if you hit stop data log, it takes you back to the main menu. Under that, vehicle functions, read DTC codes, clear DTC codes, and special functions. Now, DTC being diagnostic trouble code, so if your check engine light comes on, plug this device in, read the code, get the description, and then you can clear it once it's taken care of. No need to pick up any additional device. Special functions, most people won't touch. Cam relearn, cam reset. Those we'll leave be for now. Most people aren't going to have to worry about that. Vehicle info. This is useful if you're requesting a new tune, if you need access to your VIN number, your ECU strategy code, that's going to be on hand. Device info, similar, but for your X4, you'll have the part number, serial number, the firmware and software version, how many unlocks you have, if your status is married, so on and so forth. And then finally, device settings. You can check for updates, both plugged in or via Wi-Fi, which I think is very useful. Wi-Fi, if you're in range of the Wi-Fi network, you can connect to that to do everything wirelessly. The only big difference here between this and the newer Rev X is there are no cloud capabilities, so everything's done on the computer as far as downloading tunes. But if you're not too worried about that wireless aspect of it, the X4 is still a really good device. The rest of the settings are pretty much simple for any handheld. Brightness, orientation, you can change the landscape. You can change the theme from red to blue. You can change it to dark. There's a number of settings there. There's also audio. So every time you click a button, there's a little beep. You can turn that off here. And that way you don't have to worry about that sound. Finally, startup function I think is very useful for guys who are always going to want to monitor those gauges that we looked at, the gauges and data log screen. You can select your startup to go immediately to the gauges screen. So if you have this constantly plugged into your OBD2 and you have it mounted on the windshield, this might be a good thing to take advantage of. Finally, factory reset. We hit exit, back to the main menu, and that's your X4. That's going to wrap up my review, install, and dyno test of the Bama X4 SF4 Power Flash Tuner with 2 custom tunes for the 18 and newer EcoBoost Mustang. And again, you can get yours right here at AmericanMuscle.com.